Dynamic Entry, here to tell you a little trick to guess anybody's age. Say these two words to someone who you don't know is young or old, and you'll find out. Those two beautiful words are Adult Swim. Now, if somebody tells you, yeah, that's when kids are taken out of the pool so that grown-ups can go into the pool. First of all, they're right, but who swims anymore? And also, they're wrong because the answer that we're looking for is the popular channel and station known for its bizarre and off-color humor, Adult Swim. Today on Dynamic Entry, we're going to celebrate the anniversary of this wonderful, beautiful station, all the shows that it has, and talk about its relevance. Is it important? Does it matter? All that and more. Now, Adult Swim in its inception back in 2001, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, by the way, was made in an effort to distinct itself from traditional cartoons at the time, though it was packaged with Cartoon Network. The type of stuff that we would see on Adult Swim would be vastly different from everything else of the time. Originally starting with taking some of the old Hanna-Barbera favorites, cutting, recounting, and re-recording the audio for that animation and making it something completely different. I remember when I was a little kid, the first time I saw Space Ghost Coast to Coast, one of my favorite talk shows, I had no idea what the hell was going on, and it only got worse from there. You look at shows like C-Lab or any of the strange infomercials, I'm talking to you, Broom Shakalaka, then you've seen some weird stuff come onto your TV in the late nights. But Adult Swim was so much more than that. Aside from showing you strange and often very off-putting animations or visuals, depending on what was recorded, it was also pushing other boundaries, like beginning to bring Japanese media into the Western audience's home late at night. I'm talking anime in the realest of forms. Things that were a little more common, like Sailor Moon or even Samurai Jack, which isn't really an anime, but you know, it's kind of a thin line, all the way to things like Death Note, Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop, FMA, the list goes on. And if you've been a fan of this show for any period of time, you know that we've talked about most of these shows. And us ourselves, we grew up with Adult Swim. It reared me and raised me. And a lot of my taste comes from the late night blocks that were shown.
Adult Swim, that is a programming thing that happened in the early 2000s. It's crazy that it's been around for this long, and it recently, this is the reason why we're doing this, it celebrated its 25th anniversary. That's right, it's been on for 25 years, this special block, this special programming time. And it was, for me growing up, it took a while for me to really get into it, because I guess it makes sense, because it is Adult Swim, it's not for kids at all. And I remember seeing like the intro for it. It would be a bunch of adults getting out of the pool, or no, going into the pool, and the kids are leaving. They're like, okay, everybody, it's time for Adult Swim. And a kid that I didn't know at the time what it was, so I was like, oh, okay, so I would change the channel if I was up too late, because I didn't realize that I could technically watch it. I just was following directions. I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to change the channel. But when I did happen to tune in, sometimes I would see shows like C-Lab 2021, and I would see other shows like Gundam was on there too. That was probably the coolest part. And I believe Interstellar 555, it aired on there. So that's like the stuff that I remember like in the early 2000s of when it was first starting. All I knew was that when it came on, I would get pissed off because I wanted to watch cartoons. I didn't want to watch these weird adult humor shows, and because I didn't understand them at the time. But throughout the years, obviously, we grew up with this programming and we realize how cool it is, but it is very weird also. There are some certain things that, some shows that I really didn't like, but I've always did enjoy the aesthetic of Adult Swim and the fact that it is able to give a platform for creatives to come up and kind of just give their weird ideas and pitch them to Cartoon Network and say that they won't make it on Cartoon Network. Hey, maybe we'll try it over here on Adult Swim and maybe people will like it and it becomes like a hit or whatever.
As far as Adult Swim as a whole, I think it's one of the most important networks that's ever been put together, mainly because it's so damn weird. Some shows that you get, like my favorite American animated show, The Venture Brothers, are deep and detailed with rich cult-like lore that you can dive into and get lost for hours. And then you have stuff that makes no sense, like 12-Ounce Mouse. Or Xavier, that one show about the guy who had the beak face and the snake arm, and he was like, God's son? No idea. It was really, really weird.
But yeah, growing up, highlights for me, I think Aqua Teen Hunger Force is really cool. Even like watching it, I still didn't get it fully at the age that I started like getting into it. I think I was probably like 12 or 13. I just like the fact that it was like a funny food making jokes, and Master Shake's voice is great. He's really hilarious. And other shows, there was another one I just thought about off the top of my head. Oh, home movies. John Benjamin, of course, he's just a classic voice actor. But again, it was one of those shows where it was like not the prettiest show, and it was just kind of him talking. So it was like, what the hell am I watching as a kid? So shows like that really have a special place in my heart because they were just so different from what you were used to seeing, especially on Cartoon Network. But Adult Swim as a whole, it's pretty great. It's, like I said, provides opportunity for other people to get their ideas out there, no matter how fucking weird they are, because Adult Swim lineups through the years have been some weird ones.
This strange absurdity, however, has led to some of the most intense animated anythings to watch anywhere. I'm talking Super Jail. I'm talking Frisky Dingo. Is that the one where it was like Satan? That was a whole thing at one point in time. Also, Tim and Eric's. I'm not personally a fan of the Tim and Eric humor, but it totally exists and it totally freaks me the fuck out all the time. I am, however, a fan of the Eric Andre Show, and that's on Adult Swim, along with everybody, and I mean everybody's favorite, Rick and Morty. Also saw its original debut on Adult Swim. They're not afraid to just try weird shit, man. And sometimes that's what it's all about. I mean, I know the first time I saw Super Jail, I was like, okay, there's like death orgies, and also there's like things transforming, and I feel like I'm on acid all the time, but, you know, sometimes that's exactly what Adult Swim was about. Not the acid, but letting your brain run wild with the strange absurdities. And as you slowly became more and more tired, you became a little more delusional, you know, trying to stay up, and it just got weirder. Wow, that answers a lot of questions about myself.
I have mixed feelings about Adult Swim. Like, on one hand, it's very influential to who like a lot of our generation is and their sense of humor is now. A lot of shit memes and like fucking deep fried dank ass memes, whatever, I feel like belong in the vein of Adult Swim. It's just like that type of humor where it's just so like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. I could take a picture of a seagull and then just deep fry it and put like bottom text, top text, and then people are like, oh, look at this fucking seagull. It's Adult Swim has ruined fucking our generation, okay? It's made them weird. But it also did have some good stuff growing up. Like I mentioned earlier, I enjoyed Aqua Teen. Family Guy for a while was on there, and I don't care what you say, okay? Family Guy, in its heyday, that's a good show, all right? And I understand what it is now, but growing up, the first few seasons, it was really good, okay? But yeah, Adult Swim, I think that helped them a lot getting other programming shows. Like, hey, this show got canceled over here, but let's bring it over here and air it. But a lot of their original shows, they fell by the wayside, but they became cult classics at the same time. Like, what the fuck's it? 12-Ounce Mouse. That's a weird one, but people love it. There was one, I forgot. It's like a 3D animated like guy. He's purple and he's naked, and I fucking forgot. There's a lot of weird fucking shit on Adult Swim.
There's Moral Oral.
Robot Chicken's great.
Robot Chicken.
There's a lot of the staples that we love, and there's just a lot of the weird shit. But my favorite part of Adult Swim always was, just like in our intro we played, the little in-between things that like, hey, the blank screen and it's just Adult Swim typing stuff to you like, hey, are you up? So are we, man. Don't worry, you're not alone. Stuff like that would play and just air like, you know, lo-fi beats before the lo-fi beat channel like existed. That aesthetic of it, I really enjoyed. Was not a big fan of the weird, I guess weird to me, humor and live action stuff that they did. But for the most part, I think Adult Swim is important to who we are now, and I think it's important that it keeps going, and I think it did, in the long run, it did help Cartoon Network have some staying power, and a lot of cool talents have been birthed from Adult Swim. Tim and Eric, pretty good. Besides the show, I think just overall them as a talent, they are funny. Eric Andre, Hannibal Buress, there's just been numerous ones where you're like, okay, they came from Adult Swim and they made the most of it, and yeah.
John C. Reilly was on for a while.
Yeah, John C. Reilly, his show's fucking weird, but yeah, Adult Swim is just, it's it's a corner for the world and the people who just are weird, and it's like, here, you belong here. This is it. Just come here and be weird with us, and we don't judge you here in this corner. If anything, Adult Swim won't judge you. That's what I say mostly about Adult Swim. Overall, Adult Swim, we thank you for existing. Without you, I'm sure Chris and I would not be doing some things that we do here, and our minds would not work the same way that they work. And we mainly wanted to make this video basically to celebrate Adult Swim overall and its 25-year anniversary, and it wouldn't be a proper Adult Swim review if we didn't have mixed feelings on it, because I feel like Adult Swim has always had mixed feelings about itself and people who see it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, subscribe, like, comment, all that shit. Make sure you listen to our podcast on all streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram. All the links are going to be down below. And yeah, I mean, go watch some Adult Swim shows. And, list down below your favorite shows from Adult Swim, or maybe your least favorite shows. Whatever you want to do. See you guys in the next one.